Hello and thank you for joining us on Newsweek, where we highlight some of the biggest stories that made the headlines recently. I am Jacinta Agochukwu. This week, President Bola Tinubu suspends CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele with immediate effect. This comes amid ongoing investigation and financial sector reforms by the new administration. Also this week, President Bola Tinubu signs electricity bill allowing states and individuals to generate, transmit and distribute electricity. The law consolidates regulations, encourages private sector investment, and improves electricity access to various areas. Later on the show, Nigeria Labour Congress and Trade Union Congress suspend planned strike and plan to meet the federal government again on the 19th of June. All the details in a moment. Stay with us. Well, we begin with the suspension of Godwin Emefiele from the position of the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, by President Bola Tinubu. The CBN governor's suspension follows on an ongoing investigation into his office and planned reforms in the financial sector of the economy. Last year, the State Security Service accused Emefiele of financing terrorism and other crimes. In December, the SSS secretly sought a court order for his arrest on charges related to terrorism, financing, fraud, and economic crimes with national security implications. However, the Federal High Court in Abuja rejected the request due to insufficient evidence. Emefiele also faced criticism for engaging in partisan politics and seeking the ruling party's presidential ticket, although he denied these claims. Support groups even advocated for his selection as the ruling party's flag bearer. Additionally, the CBN's introduction of Naira redesign policy in the last quarter of 2022 received widespread criticism for causing uncertainty and chaos throughout the country. Well, I have two gentlemen joining me to discuss this. In the studio, I have Justice Ojino, a lawyer, in the studio here. And via Zoom, I have Dennis Amachree, retired Assistant Director of the Directorate of State Services. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming on the show.
My pleasure joining you.
Right. Mr. Dennis, let me begin with you. What was your initial reaction upon hearing about the CBN governor's suspension? Were you expecting this?
Thank you for having me. I think when I heard the news about his suspension, I was a little bit worried. But when the DSS moved in to take him into custody, then I knew that this is a very serious issue. Because he has got himself involved in so many things. And of course, he was operating with a lot of impunity. So I think this is a very right step to take by the new government in making sure that at least this particular case, which is known to everybody, is addressed.
All right, Mr. Amachree, do you also believe that the arrest and investigation of the CBN governor will provide some relief to market watchers and international partners of the Nigerian economy?
You know, what he has done, most of them are economic crimes, because money laundering, you remember, while the money laundering issue is a crime that, of course, the DSS is going to investigate further. And then, of course, changing of the Naira, changing that color. You all know what happened. The whole country came to a standstill. In fact, it went to the extent of some people burning banks, burning them down. In fact, it was getting to a level of protest where you never know. Many people might even be seeking to overthrow the government of the day. So I think these are crimes that he has committed to great proportion, affecting national security, And I think he's in the right place, you know, to be questioned.
All right, I'll come back to you, Mr. Amachree. Let me come to you now, Justice. The same question for you. Were you expecting this arrest, and what do you expect from this whole thing in terms of financial sector reforms through this investigation?
Okay, for me, I was actually expecting him to have resigned since the day it was announced that, okay, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu would take over the reins of power. I was expecting him to do a honorable gentleman's thing of just resigning by himself. You see the Federal High Court decision in December that actually said major parts that people focused on was the court said there was insufficient evidence. The court also actually said that they ought to have, DSS ought to have requested from the president of the day, because of the economic implications of the arrest of the CBN governor, that they needed clarification or an approval from the president of the day before they can pick him up. Now, that didn't happen at that time, but now it has happened. The president of the day has actually said, I'm suspending this person, DSS, if you may, move in and arrest him because of the grave economic implications of him remaining in that office. And that has been done. So I think that the road has been cleared. Anybody, some people are already saying that it would have amounted to a contempt of court for the DSS to have done this, despite the fact that there is a subsisting court order for them not to do. But this one, with the approval of the president of the day, it gives them the go-ahead to do it. So that's on number one. Number two thing is, we must always remember, as people that are holding political offices, that will not be there forever. And we should not now, because we have political power, be demonstrating narcissism of the highest order, which is you are feeling automatically that you are better than the other people, and you are not touched by the pains that other people are facing. This is a serious moral lesson in that regard. And for the economics of things, we have known that Emefiele has been very incompetent. He has demonstrated it in his deliverables. He made naira at less than 200 naira to a dollar. He's practically delivering close to 800 naira to a dollar. So to a large extent, it was his monetary policy, his monetary policies have been terrible. Have not really helped this country. The naira redesign or recoloration policy that he used to practically put this country into serious economic turmoil. There was serious contraction in the economy because transactions were not going on. People's money got frozen. We were buying naira with naira. I have not seen where that happened. He committed so much sabotage to this economy, and I feel that it is in the right place and is the right signal for DSS to actually take him into custody and investigate him. There are a lot of atrocities too that have been ascribed to him. That, of course, we may not be able to say now because it might amount to speculation. So let the DSS move in, do cogent and concrete investigation into his activities, and come to the larger populace to tell us that this is what this public official has done, and this is the punishment that's going to be meted out to him, so it will serve as deterrent to politicians or anybody that's appointed to high office, to never ever forget that the power is meant for the good of the people.